Hey, we're back here on The Reckoning, the Real Talk Radio Network, and I am excited to have Mr. Bob Eno on the phone with us. He is the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee Chairman, but this week he is fulfilling the role of Missouri delegate up in Wisconsin. So if you hear some background ruckus, it's because tonight we're all getting pumped up for Donald Trump's nomination acceptance speech. Mr. Eno, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you so much for having me, and what an exciting time. I'm on a bus right now. I thought I would be in the convention by now, but with security the way it is, we were held up, but that's okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Pretty cool, man.
I can't imagine the amount of security that you all have dealt with up there this week. But, I mean, I tell you what, on the broadcast coming through to the rest of us, the speeches we see, all of the entanglements, I'm sure, of trying to get in and out of that facility, none of it's there. It's just been smooth to watch. But, but let me do that first. When I first reached out to you, forgetting that you were in Milwaukee, I was still looking at a local issue. I forgot about this. How has the week been from your perspective, from the Missouri delegation, the true grassroots slate that got to go, that ought to have gone the whole time? How has this week been as a Republican? Is it an exciting time? Is it a new direction? What's the feeling from our Missouri folks there?
It is such an exciting time. You just can't imagine the patriotism, the optimism, the energy. Just everyone is so excited. After Saturday, just watching what happened, and then coming here, seeing him on Monday, it's just incredible feeling. As a Vietnam veteran, seeing this and experiencing it, it's at times very emotional. To watch what happens. Mm-hmm. Well, great time. If you don't like this, man, it's you need to move.
Well, and it has from the outside in looked like a really good shining moment for the Republican Party to show that there are values that we hold and that we will govern by, but this is a big tent party in the sense of if you finally understand and wake up that the left is lying to you, they don't care about the dignity of human life, they don't care about the individual's freedom and self-respect, all they care about is how you fit into the machine, then the Republican Party is the place for you to look next because they are lied about in the media that we listen to, and you guys need to stop it. That's what I've seen over and over from a lot of folks who are just kind of outside the boundaries of the normal Republican speakers. And I'm excited by it, and I think a lot of other folks are too. So
and that's what's interesting. You mentioned the grassroots from Missouri, and our grassroots is here, and it's alive and it's well. And one of the things that I really notice about more and more people, first of all, there's a lot of young people here. That's number one. Number two, they are people that are paying attention. They're paying attention to what's going on around them. They pay attention to the politicians. They pay attention how they vote. They pay attention to where they came from, what they've been doing in their life. And some of them are successful people. Some of them are just people that work. A lot of union people here. A lot of the trades are up here from all over the country. And it's interesting to talk to them and listen to them and hear why are they here, what motivated them to be here. And this all touches on grassroots, people that are really, really paying attention to what's going on around them.
Good.
It's exciting, man.
That's what I'm going to say. That's the feeling it gets. This is the populist party again, and it's exciting to see that move, that shift, which really it is.
Yes,
It's grassroots momentum is what drives it. But that brings me to a few questions I had. As I've been going around trying to talk to each of the local candidates, one thing that brought my eye, I'm a St. Charles County resident, and one thing that came to my attention as I was looking down our sample ballot, there are all sorts of contested township committee folks. And normally, it feels like every time I look at this, it's just one person. It's hardly ever contested. At least that's how it feels like. And this year, almost every single office has a contest. And it came to my attention, that Tony Lovasco, the former chairman of the party, had resigned last year. I knew that. But apparently there has been just kind of a continuing change and shift inside the St. Charles County Republican Committee. And what I wanted to do, someone suggest I talk to you, get a sense from you as to where the St. Charles County Republican Committee is going and why maybe there is such it seems a move to really primary people to have such a conflict. I'm kind of curious. It seems like Tony's attempting to get back on the committee after resigning from it, and I didn't really get a sense of that. I just spoke to him, and he didn't mention that, just the leaving part of it. So I figured I would talk to you and get a sense of maybe what's happening in St. Charles from last June to now, and kind of what we're looking at here in August, because we got a lot of electoral decisions in front of us as St. Charles County Township residents.
Well, I really do appreciate you having me on, and you are correct. Tony Lovasco, he left, and he was a disgrace the way he left. He threw a temper tantrum, something reminiscent of some of my 10-year-old kids when they were 10 years old. He didn't like what happened to him. He didn't like the fact. He stormed out of there, pushing a chair against the table and saying things along the line, "Now I know who my friends are." And when myself and another person retorted back and said, "It's not about friendship. We've lost confidence in your leadership. We've lost confidence in you." And he simply stormed out of the room. And then, on top of that, he writes a resignation letter and puts it on Facebook. He doesn't even have the backbone to send us or send someone on the committee the information that he no longer will be serving. And as Travis touched on, a few days ago when you had him on, we didn't really expect him to resign from the committee. We just wanted him off as a leader, off as a chairman. And then he has the nerve to get all of our donors, send them and tell them not to support, not only monetarily, but also physically support the committee. And now he wants back on. It's a travesty. It's disgraceful. I don't know how he gets up and looks in the mirror, to be very honest with you. And evidently that's how he operates when he's at the House of Representatives. There's some things that he has voted for. There's things that he's voted against. The thing that's really interesting about some of these guys, when we hold them accountable or ask them questions, you can see them squirm in the chair. They don't like the questions. They don't like being held accountable. And most of these guys, and I say guys, men and women, they vote in such a way that they look conservative. But here's the issue. There are so many bills that should be on the floor and voted for. What have they done to get those bills out of the committee and get them on the floor to get them voted? They tell everyone around them that they're leaders, that this is what I am. I'm a leader, and I'm going to get up there. And then they just sit in a chair and let things happen around them. Some of these bills, I'll just take initiative petition for one. They moved it from committee to committee to committee, and then they attach a bunch of amendments on it, and then nothing happens to it. And at the final hour, they push a bill out. Half of it they don't want to vote for. The people that are really the true Republican conservative really doesn't want to vote for it because it's got all this other crap tied to it. There's a bigger issues here than just their voter record. You have to look at the total picture. What did they do to a bill that came across, got in a committee? Some of them, they sit on a committee, and they don't do anything to get it out. They need to build alliances, build people up, stick together. That's another issue up there. They don't all stick together, even though they're from the same county. It's not just St. Charles County. It's across the state. So, Tony left in disgrace, and he needs to stay off the committee. He needs to take a hard look in the mirror. And there's some of these other guys that are running as well. They don't need to be on the committee. The central committees in the counties are supposed to be the grassroots. That's where people can come and get involved if they want to get involved. We've raised a lot of money. We've raised a lot of awareness. We're doing things that the committee's never done before. One of them is Oktoberfest. Another one was Freedom Fest. Another one's the Lincoln Days. Lincoln Days, we have grown and grown and grown until it's very, very successful. We had 500 people, 520, I think it was, last March at Old Hickory. It was wonderful. A lot of good speakers, a lot of people that are running for different offices come up to talk. Dean Plocker was there. Just to name a few. Jay Ashcroft could not make it. It was unfortunate. Bill Eigel was there. He knocked the ball out of the park with his speech, which he does typically. But those are the things that we're kind of faced with. It's an unknown. They are running on their name, their recognition of their name. They are. It'll be interesting if some of them win. It'll be interesting as to what happens. We intend to make some big changes within the committee, and I'll touch on those at a later date. But
sure.
But they have to move on.
Well,
there's no space for them on the committee.
Well, and see, that's what really piqued my interest about this, because it was kind of off of my radar. I mean, being completely honest, I've gone a whole hog back into Missouri politics since getting here with Real Talk Radio, because I mostly exist in the national world, and I had kind of lost touch the last handful of years about some of these dynamics. And when I entered into this, I thought, this is strange. Why am I seeing? Because if I'm not mistaken, there are a few state reps running, not just Tony, but a few state reps running. And I thought, this is the Central Committee. Isn't this supposed to be a grassroots entity? Not an entity that is part and parcel of the legislature, but really the grassroots soul at the most local level of the Republican Party. And that's where talking with Tony, I was someone asked me to have him on, talking about his race. I found the letter, and I started looking at it, and I was like, this isn't the point of the committee. The point of the committee is to hold people's feet to the fire of the Republican platform. This is who we are, and I don't mean just the document, but this is who we are as the grassroots. This is what we want you to aspire to. This is what we are recruiting people in the local community based on these ideas. You have to line up with these ideas. So it's not just our goal to yuck around and be good with relationships with everyone. There's too much of that in the legislature. We're here to be grassroots conservatives and stick to the ideas that matter. So, I mean, is that your take on a central committee and what you would like to see it do to fulfill the role? I know you said at a later date some of the stuff, but I see it as the grassroots heart and soul. If they're just, in good relationship but outside the sync of the ideas, what even is this grassroots level of a central committee for?
Well, that's exactly right. You've named it. You've hit it on the head there. And the grassroots, really, the mantra is to be close to the voters. It's a place that people can go. And they should be able to say, well, I'm a Republican, but who should I vote for in this primary? Who is in the primary? Where is a sample ballot? And we should be able to have that all on one website or Facebook page, whichever's convenient for them. But really just the convenience of having people that are in the know and understand what's going on in politics. We need to do more than just, people running for the office. We need to be able to put bills out there to let people know what's going on, what committee it is, and really put some notes in there and say, you know what, you need to contact this guy. He's your representative, and let him know what you think and why this needs to be passed. And that's where the grassroots is, and that's where our committee should be. And it's very difficult to get that done. We want to do vetting. We want to vet these guys. When they say they're a Republican, really, what does that mean? Do they even understand what the Republican means? We have people in the House and the Senate. I'm stepping off the bus now if you hear some different noises.
Okay.
And there's a line of about, oh my goodness, there must be 1,000 people trying to get in now. So I'm going to stand over here in the shade if you don't mind. So
no, you go ahead and wrap it up. We just got about a minute left.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's what grassroots about. That's what our Central Committee is about. And we appreciate anyone's support. If someone's listening out there and you see that township vote, depending on where you live, just pick the person. You can go to St. Charles County Grassroots .com. Let's see, it's sccgrassrootspac.com, and you get some good sound advice there. And I really do appreciate you, Ryan, having me on.
Absolutely.
Wish you were here. I'll tell you what, if there's any chance you can get it at the next one, that's 4 years from now, man, you should do it.
I was at the last one cool. 8 years ago, and it was absolutely wild. I wish you all the best tonight. You guys are in for a treat. I was there for the first, 90 minutes, I think, Donald Trump spoke. Holy cow. That was the moment. Right before the big balloon drop, that last hour and a half that he just freewheeled and went, I looked at it and I thought, you know what? This man is trustworthy. He is America first, and I am more excited than I have been in a long time. Not just to be a Republican, but to be a grassroots conservative in the United States of America. It's exciting. So I wish you guys all the excitement in the world tonight. That's so great.
Well, thank you very much. I look forward to listening to your show, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Bob.
Care.
You guys have a good and safe evening, and we'll talk to you later. All right, folks, there you go. A little bit of news from Bob Eno from the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee, stcharlesgop.com. And as he said, I'll get the right one. I think he said sccgrassrootspac.com. I'll double-check that one. But there's a lot. Know your stuff all the way down to the local level. Don't miss out on being educated and informed. We'll be right back on The Reckoning.